Hello there, I'm Jeff Millhouse, Executive Vice President of Enviro. This part of our video presentation is on the calibration of the dual flush conversion kit. Now what we're going to do is the kit is all installed, and what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to set it up properly and explain all the settings on it so you can be successful in saving water too. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a jug, and what we're going to do is we're going to mark it 100 with a plastic 1 gallon jug. We're going to mark it for 0.8 or 103 ounces of water. Okay, so that'll be 0.8 or 103 ounces, and we'll put a mark on there so we know how much water. What we're doing in this phase is we're actually checking the amount of water we're going to flush in the full and half flush mode, and to make sure it's calibrated close to what we want it to be. Okay, right now I have the water turned off, and the first thing I'm going to do is just take and I'm going to pour some water into the tank. Now the reason I'm pouring some water into the tank, I'll pour the whole 0.8 in there, and the reason I'm going to do that is because the water will not all the water will evacuate out of the tank when you flush the valve, either half or full flush. There'll always be a portion of the water that stays in the bottom of the tank. So what I did was I just poured some water in. Doesn't even matter how much I poured in, and what I'm going to do is just flush the commode. So what that's going to do, now the water is not on yet, so it's not going to refill, but what we're doing is we're allowing the water to get to the seat height. That'll be our starting point. Okay, so what I did now is the water is turned off. I opened the flush valve, and there's about, I'm looking at this, there's about 1 inch of water laying in the tank. Do you want to come in and take a look at this so we can see how much water is in the tank there? You can see there's some chemicals in there, but it's about 1 inch of water down inside the tank. And that's the water that'll always be in the tank. So that'll be our starting point. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to take another gallon, 0.8 gallon of water, and we're going to pour it in there. The valve, the flush valve is closed now. There's laying about 1 inch of water laying in there. And I'm just going to pour that water in there. 0.8. Okay, I poured 0.8 in there. Now I'm going to put a mark on the side of the commode. You can see that I just put a mark right on the side of the commode over there, and now I have 0.8. That'll be your half flush mark. Now I'm going to take another gallon of water, another 0.8 gallon of water, and I'm going to pour that in. So far I have 0.8 gallon of water in there. Now I'm pouring in another 0.8, which will make 1.6. This is the way we calibrate the amount of water that we have in there. And what I'm going to do is, now I have that, I'm going to put another mark there. What that is, now that's the full flush mark. Okay? So now I'm going to turn the water on. Reach down here and turn the water on. Let the tank finish filling. But now I have some pretty good ideas where the full and half flush mark should be on the commode. Now the first thing I want to do, the water is turned on, it's filling the tank. I'm going to go ahead and flush the commode. It really doesn't even matter how much water is flushed out. I'm going to flush it. I have my 2 marks where full flush is. I'll let it go through a fill up mode here. The water is filling up. And what I'm trying to get the fill valve to shut off at the very top mark. And that's pretty darn close. What we got to do is, if the water was too little or too much, just like all fill valves, all you do is remove the clip down in there. There's a clip in there. Remove the clip, give it a quarter turn. You can bring the fill valve up to increase it, or down to decrease the amount of water. But whatever it is, what we want to do is fill the commode tank with full of 1.6 gallon of water. This is a 1.6 gallon tank and commode setup, so we did set it at 1.6. The fill valve is set correctly. So now what we're going to do is we'll flush a full flush here, and it should go all the way down. It should evacuate the whole tank out. It's going down, it's going down. It's shut. It's right on the money. We evacuated 1.6 gallons out. Now, let's say that didn't satisfy us, that was too much water. What we can do here is we can reach down in here. I'm going to shut the water off first before it fills up. And we can remove the flush valve. All you got to do is give it a quarter turn, and you can pull the flush valve out. Now if you look here, what you can see is there's these little windows, the blue windows, and one's marked half on one side, and the other one is marked full. And what it is what they do is when the window is all the way shut, in other words, there's no open space in the window, you're going to get maximum flow on the full flush or half flush, whichever's marked. This one's marked full flush, so it's all the way closed. That means you're going to get the full 1.6. On the other side, it says half flush. Okay, you can see the window is partially exposed there. That means it's going to be reducing. In other words, what I'm telling you is that when the window is exposed, you're going to flush less water. The more open there is on the window, or the higher the number on the window, the less water you're going to flush. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this back together like that. Make sure the cable isn't making contact with the float. We're going to turn the water back on, and we're going to see how much water. We're going to let it fill again, and we're going to try the half flush. We know that we're flushing a full 1.6 gallon in here because we already tried it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the half flush. Push the handle the other direction, which is for the half flush. And what we're going to do is see how much water we evacuate out of the tank for the half flush. Should be 0.8. It's filling. It's going to take a few minutes here. That damn thing. The other unique part about this thing is its ease of maintenance. If ever the mechanism goes bad, you literally can reach down in there, give it a quarter turn, pull it out, screw the nut loose here, pull the whole drive unit off. You literally can make a change on the whole unit in about 2 to 3 minutes. If just the seal is bad, all you have to do is, again, reach down here, give it a quarter turn, turn it upside down, pop the seal, the seat seal off, put a new one on, and you're good to go. Okay, now I'm going to try the half flush. That will be, there's little insignias on the handle. That's why I mount my handles up and down. It shows you which direction to go for full flush and half flush. So what I'm going to do is give it the half flush mode here, and we're at the top line. It should shut off right at the bottom. It was right on the money. It flushed exactly a half 0.8 gallon on the liquid flush. Now, if that was too much water or too little water, what I would do, I would go to the window that said half flush, and if it was too much, which is usually the case, you would expose more of the window. In other words, the higher the number on the window, or the more area that is exposed, that's opened, and the less blue that's showing, the less it's going to flush. So what you would do, if it be number 3, you would open it all the way up to number 5, and what that would do is reduce the amount of flush. Now here's what I want to do. Here's the last thing I want to show you. I want to show you the ease of maintenance. We've gone through to show you how to adjust it by opening and closing the windows. You can decrease the amount of water or increase the amount of water you want to flush. Whatever is correct for you, you can do it that way. But here's the last thing. I want to show you the ease of replacing this valve. You can reach in there, give it a quarter turn, take that out, unscrew this. Literally, it is now ready for replacement. That took me every bit of 10 seconds. If you got to replace the seat seal, you just pop that seal off there. It takes another 10 seconds, and you can put it back, and you can replace it. Okay, here for Enviro Flush, Jeff Millhouse and Enviro Flush in the calibration part of this video. I want to thank you. Again, if you have any questions, please see us at echoflushtoilets.com or call me direct. Jeff Millhouse, 717-468-7527. Thank you very much. And remember, from here, us in EnviroFlush, be green, be clean. Thank you.